Hello. I hope everyone's well. Thank you for joining me today, this lovely afternoon. Um, yeah, I don't really know what to say other than speaking, of course. I never really have a specific thing to ever discuss with these videos. It's usually just go mode, and I'm just me. But, sorry if this is drawn out. I don't know what to say. It'll come to me though. Sometimes we don't know what to say, but then in the very moment where we think we don't know what to say, we have everything to say. See, sometimes we tend to overthink things, and when we overthink, that is when we are led down the path of destruction, and that is just when the biggest enemy that we ever have shows itself. And that just happens to be ourselves. But if you stay vigilant, if you stay disciplined, if you stay with the understanding that nothing can conquer you outside of yourself, nothing can conquer you. And sometimes it's hard to see it from that perspective, and I get that. I don't have the world figured out. I'm only 22 years old, and it's okay. We find ourselves always in questions of things that we shouldn't even be questioning. And that's just the way of being human. That's just the way of existing. And that's just the nature of us. But what can we do other than just be, experience, and never question? There's more peace in just accepting everything as it is rather than trying to solve the problems for everything that is. It's all a choice at the end of the day. Once you change the perspective and shift the way in which your mind flows and shift the way in which you think and see the world, then everything changes for you. And the questions that you once had are merely questions that aren't ever asked again. The sunset's beautiful today. Very nice. I haven't seen one in a while. Be grateful for everything, especially life in itself in this ever-going present moment. Because you don't ever really know when it could be your last day, in your last hours, your last minute, but we don't think about that. Because that's not something that we should be thinking about. You never see a bird, an animal, or your pets ever questioning death. So we shouldn't question it either. But human beings are so complex, and we tend to just make everything bigger than what it actually is. Life isn't as complicated as what, we make it to be. Honestly, I think life is very simple. But we have a thing called an ego in which we need to be doing something. At least we think we need to be doing something. We think that we need to be a part of something. And in some way, shape, or form, however that may be true to some degree, you don't always have to try to find your place you don't have to try to find yourself in a place that isn't for you. You understand what I'm saying? Growing up, I know, especially in school, there's people that struggle with just identity, struggling with trying to figure out who you are and trying to figure out your place in this world. I was one of those people. Difference is, I enjoyed my solitude. I enjoyed my peace. My solitude is where I found my peace. It was where I found it was my grounding, put it that way. It was my footing. And just know, if you are in that predicament of trying to uncover yourself, trying to uncover, life as it is, and seeing where you, quote unquote, need to fit in, just know that you're exactly where you need to be. I know it may be sad at times, but what do we ever gain from constantly being sad and questioning our own reality? Apart from more sadness, it is a seed that continues to poison if watered. The goal is to find that peace in something. Because once you find that peace in something, you will find that peace within yourself. Obviously, there's other ways of going about it, and there's people that find the peace within themselves before they find the peace in the world outside of them. But, either way works. Either way works. Just be patient with yourself, give yourself time, and essentially find what works for you. You don't have to follow trends, and you don't have to fit in with anybody or anything. You just solely have to be you. The most love comes from yourself. How can I love someone else without loving myself? I need to be sure within myself, be sure within my peace, be sure within my love in order to extend that into somebody else. Because if I do not, then my branches will be full of poison. Bits and pieces of poison that can stem into somebody else, somebody that doesn't deserve it. Love can be very selfish, and it can be very destructive, especially if not used in the right way. So just be sure of yourself, be sure within yourself, and do no harm to nobody else, especially yourself. Because at the end of the day, the only person we have is ourselves. So, we just have to be knowledgeable of that. Life's gonna go regardless. Exist today, love today, and just do the very best you can. Don't be so hyper-fixated on everything, and don't be so critical of yourself, because at times you don't deserve that. Essentially, none of us really deserve the amount of criticism and hate that we tend to give ourselves, but it's a normal thing. And it shouldn't be a normal thing, but it is a normal thing, and we have to work on eliminating those factors of ourselves, eliminating those factors from our mind that we are constantly being the enemy to ourselves, and we should never be the enemy to ourselves, because we are the only one that deals with ourselves on a daily basis. You understand? So give yourself love and stop being so damn hard on yourself. The answers to everything you seek are always in front of you and within you. So just be patient, be kind, and just love one another. And life will go, as it always does. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know where this video is going. I don't know where it was taking me, but I hope somebody gained something from this experience. I hope somebody gained, just anything. It is what it is. I see y'all when I see y'all. Love you.